Alright, sum and difference identities, problem type 2. Again, we're going to need the sum and difference identities as well as our table. If I hop over here to my note sheets, sum and difference identities, when you have the sine ones, you have sine, cosine, sine, cosine. For the cosine ones, they start off with cosine, 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 cosine. Tangent ones are pretty obvious, but you'll want to keep those handy. Again, I'm just going to have them on my paper here so I don't have to flip back and forth to the screen. Also, again, on my notes, you're going to want to have the table here where you can look up what the sine, cosine, tangent of your angles are. And so if you have that piece of paper handy, I also have it on the bottom of this note sheet page, but I don't have it on every one of them. So you should have that paper somewhere because we've used it a lot. So you'll want to have that paper handy also. So if I go back over here, first one wants us to use the sum or difference formula to find the exact value of the following. Starts off with cosine, cosine. I know that's my cosine identity. This one has the minus sign in between, and so if you look at your sum and difference identities, this is going to be the cosine of A plus B. And so I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to do the cosine of 3 pi over 5 plus 7 pi over 30. And then I'm going to find my common denominator and do my adding and subtracting here. So if it's over 30, 5 goes into 30 6 times, I would have 18 pi plus 7 pi, which is 25 pi over 30. And then if I divide those by 5, I would have 5 pi over 6. So cosine of 5 pi over 6. At that point in time, you're going to look up in your table, what is the cosine of 5 pi over 6? So again, if you have this table handy, 5 pi over 6, my cosine is negative square root of 3 over 2. And it probably erased everything, which it did. Cosine of 5 pi over 6 is negative square root of 3 over 2, and so that's going to be your answer. And so again, I won't jump back and forth because when I do that it wants to erase my board, but keep those papers handy. If we look at the next one there, the next one says a sine of 3 pi over 4 cosine of 7 pi over 12. Because it starts with sine, cosine, I know it's one of my two sine ones. Since there's a minus sign in there, if you look at your things, that is going to be the A minus B. So again, we're going to do the sine of 3 pi over 4 minus 7 pi over 12. Since we're working with our fractions, we'll find our common denominator, which is 12. 4 goes into 12 3 times, so I'm going to have 9 pi minus 7 pi, which is 2 pi over 12, which would give me pi over 6. So I'm going to find the sine of pi over 6. So again, I'm just going to look up in the table, and if you look up the sine of pi over 6, should be 1/2. So 1/2 is going to be your answer. And the next one starts with cosine, cosine. So I know it's my cosine one. This one has the plus in there. If it has the plus in there, it's going to be the A minus B. So I'm going to do the cosine of 5 pi over 7 minus 8 pi over 21. My common denominator is 21. 7 goes in there. 3 times 5 is 15 pi. Minus 8 pi gives me 7 pi. And of course I can reduce that down, so I'm going to get pi over 3. So I'm going to go look up in my table the cosine of pi over 3. If you look for the cosine of pi over 3, you should see that your answer is 1/2. So again, back over here on that table, pi over 3, if I look for the cosine, there it is, 1/2. You probably can't read it on the video, but keep that table handy. You're going to need it for a lot of problems. Some of the note pages I have it on, but I didn't put it on every note page. So you'll want to find that sheet. Make sure you have it handy when you're working on these.